Luka Doncic, at 22 years old, just signed for $207 million.
That's it?
Over 5 years. It's the supermax rookie extension. He's the first to do it, to be eligible for it. Twice first-team All-NBA. That's what made it happen. So for Bill Duffy, the agent, this is a big, big day for him, as well as for Luka.
When you say the first to do it
because
ever, or this?
Well, because it's the rookie.
Supermax.
It's the rookie Supermax,
Supermax.
which means you'd have to, A, stay with your team, B, twice All-NBA, and he's first-team All-NBA. So that's, that's a rarity.
Because typically they would get the Supermax what year? Like year 7, 8, somewhere in there?
Yeah. But what I mean is that he's in his third year.
I understand. That's what I said. Usually
and he's been first-team All-NBA already. He's
gosh.
that guy.
So he can get the Supermax again and again and again.
Oh, yeah, if he stays with, this can keep going if he stays in Dallas. Now, the Lakers have loaded up. They're trying to win a championship. Golden State wants to make another run at it. You've got this guy now for 5 years at $200 million. Mark Cuban, as we know, is not afraid to spend money. He is a guy that the whole league, you saw the respect that he has now from his peers. He's a guy that the superstars all go, that guy can play. He's good. So can Dallas become a contender while Luka's there? Because you think they should be able to attract players. But do you see them, at the end of this deal, will they be a team that is contending for a championship? LeBron's not going to be in the league at the end of this deal.
I don't know if they can draw somebody to Dallas in free agents.
Why not?
I just don't know.
To play with him?
I think it's
great market, great owner, great player.
I don't think it's as much. I lived in Dallas.
Yeah.
And it's different, man. It's a different city. It's fun. It's just a different city. And free agents like to go to places, bigger cities on the outskirts, the New Yorks, the LA.
They want the coast?
They want kind of the coast is the way that I look at it. It's hard for me to envision somebody going to Dallas unless the sales pitch is just crazy. Now,
or they're from Texas, which has great players.
J. Kidd is there, so that could add something. Nico is there from Nike. That could add something.
Nico Harrison, right?
Yeah, that could add something to it. I mean, it could be an interesting.
Doesn't Mark Cuban also
pitch.
play into this? I think Mark Cuban has to be. First of all, we know the guy is not afraid to spend. He is willing to pay for a championship. He's done it once already. I think he's a pretty popular owner amongst players. I don't think there's a lot of players that have a problem with him. I think that's a guy that,
have a problem with it.
If you want to play for somebody, that's a guy I want to play for.
Yeah, I don't know though, man. Because if I had a chance to go somewhere else other than Dallas, I might do that.
All right, before we tie this up though, listen to Woj. Woj is on SportsCenter because when you think about Luka and how important he is, I think to the league now. Because he's going to be, when LeBron moves on, I think Luka's the guy. Face of the league type, by the way his peers respect him. Listen to how Woj said, the priority of getting Luka signing this extension this summer, what type of priority was it for the Mavs?
Priority number 1, 2, 3, 4. This was it. And I think they certainly had confidence, that Luka wanted to sign the deal, that he's committed in Dallas. There's a lot more to be done. They've gotten to the playoffs twice. He's had some historic performances in the postseason in these two series with the Clippers. But they're trying to put more pieces around him, get Kristaps Porzingis back playing at a high level. They re-signed Tim Hardaway formally today. But Luka Doncic, listen, this is not just an organization that's building itself around Luka Doncic. This is a league that is going to largely be built around his star power.
I see, and that's why I feel the same thing. I think this guy internationally, what he did with Slovenia, who'd never been to the Olympics, I mean, they had a chance to win bronze. They were 1 point from going against the Americans for gold. A great block by Batum of France stopped that. But Luka had a fantastic Olympics. This is not a face of the league guy. This is a face of the game guy in the world, or at least could be at the age of 22. And so it was huge for Dallas. Now you hear Kristaps Porzingis, Tim Hardaway Jr. Those guys are good players, but to win a championship, they're going to have to upgrade that. And I'm just curious to see if they can get it done in that amount of time.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.